My name is Alan Barkstrom. I am representing District 8. I'm the chair of this committee. Roll call, and Jason said he'd be calling in.
Good morning, Alan Barkstrom,
Here.
Michelle Drobnik,
Here.
Doug Erickson,
Here.
Jason Hastings, are you online? Jason Hastings, *6 if you're online.
I'm here.
Thank you. Robert Kopish,
Here.
Larry Mybus,
Here.
and Rachel Hoffman. Are you online? No.
No.
Thank you.
Okay, we will be having hearings this morning. If you're here to testify during those hearings, you should please sign up on the sheets by the door there. And if you do testify, or you could go up to the podium to speak, and you will be addressing the board, no one else, and you will be allowed 3 minutes. Okay, public comments. Is there anybody in the room or online that wish to speak in public comments? Now would be the time to do that.
Just for zoning? Is that just for zoning?
Yeah, there's separate public comment for land conservation and UW extension.
Thank you. I didn't take agenda.
Any public comments? Okay, hearing none. Is there any communications from any member of the committee? Online? Okay. All right, the time is 9:02, and we will open the public hearings. And there's a conditional use permit filed by Tamara Brandt for the purpose of providing a woman's shelter and maternity home to be operated through Northwoods Living Hope on property located within part of the northeast 1/4, the southwest 1/4, section 23, township 37 north, range 1 west, town of Elk. Fire number is N8299.
Letters of notification were sent to Brian and Leanne Brodka, Jerome and Susan Martini, Terry and Gail Starova, Tamara and Robert Brandt, Chad Nigelson, Kim Novak, Thomas and Lori Smith, Gary Wiskershin, and Regina Damjanovic at the town of Elk.
Any responses?
We received no communications back.
No communications, okay. Is there anybody that wish to talk to this issue in the room? Okay. I'll then declare the hearing closed, and the time is 9:03. And agenda item number 5 is the decision on conditional use permit filed by Tamara Brandt for the purpose of providing a women's shelter and maternity home to be operated through Northwoods Living Hope on property located within part of the northeast 1/4, southwest 1/4, section 23, township 37 north, range 1 west, town of Elk. Fire number N8299, Fox Run Road. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Can you hear me?
Okay, motion by Michelle. And did I hear Jason? Did you say something?
Yeah, I had a question for the Brants.
Let me second the motion first, okay?
Yeah.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, seconded by Bob Kopish. And now it's open for discussion. Anyone wanted to speak, Jason?
Yeah, this is a question for Bob or Tammy. It says the program will be a Christ-centered program that seeks to reach residents spiritually with the life-saving gospel of Jesus Christ. I guess I was just wondering what their opinion is on how the gospel of Jesus Christ saves life and what that looks like.
Tamara, are you in the room? Would you like to go up to the microphone, and if that message wasn't clear, we can ask him to repeat it.
I would have Jason repeat that, please.
Okay,
So-
put your microphone up
Push
and
the-
and turn it
Press
on.
the button on.
Press the button till the
Green light
lights
will
up.
come on. Got it?
Okay, Jason, you were hard to understand. Would you want to repeat that question a little slower? Maybe and hold your phone close to your.
Sure. The program says it'll be a Christ-centered program that seeks to reach residents spiritually with the life-saving gospel of Jesus Christ. I was wondering what that looks like.
Thank you, Jason, for that question. At this stage of the game, our plan would be that anybody that has the opportunity to be a resident there at the home, that they would be coming through what we hope will be a program at this point. All of those things are being formulated yet, but the spiritual guidance that we're going to be giving is that we can introduce the gospel. Nobody can make anybody accept the gospel. It's an opportunity to present the gospel while we're helping women both in domestic crisis to leave behind that life and be able to have that strength to go forward on that, or helping a young lady so that she would decide not to have an abortion and that she would be seeking that help and for carrying that child to term, whether she wants to go forward in adoption or whether or not she wants to keep that child. So in that process, we're going to be giving teaching that is going to be guiding in a Christ-centered fashion. It's going to be purely based on biblical. It's not going to be denominational as far as that part goes, yet we will definitely be that those tenets of the faith that are part of Northwoods Living Hope already with regard to that the gospel is that the Bible, for one, is the inerrant word of God, that it is through Christ and Christ alone that salvation comes, and then not by works that any man should boast. Those are going to be, and that being able to come to a point of relying on Jesus Christ to handle all of the difficulties that come in life, whether they are domestic concerns or whether or not they are raising a child or whether it's facing adoption. So I hope that answers it, Jason. If I didn't, then you please go ahead and ask away.
So you will be operating this under the auspices of a Christian church?
It will not be under a Christian church. It's going to be independent of that. Northwoods Living Hope used to be a mission outreach of Anchor of Truth Church here in Phillips. It will no longer be an outreach mission of Anchor of Truth Church because we want it to be a community so that many churches will be involved.
But you'll be a nonprofit.
But we are a nonprofit, yes,
Okay.
as far as that part goes. The transfer of the property has not taken place yet. That's why I'm applying for the conditional use so that it's in place when the transfer comes. We are, at that point, like I said, we are definitely seeking for it to be a community involvement with regard to all of our churches. So.
Well, thank you very much. We are all a sinful people separated from God. Other than Jesus Christ, who can intervene on our behalf, I appreciate what you guys are doing for our community.
Thank you, Jason.
I have a question.
Bob?
Yeah, regarding what she said, so you're gonna have the facility here then also as part of your,
No, Northwoods Living Hope, they sold their building there on the corner, though it used to be the old,
yeah.
forgive me, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
It's escaping me right now,
Well,
but they sold that building back in March and new owners own that. They are joining forces with us, if you will, in that we have been able to gain the 501c3 and all of those things. And then we have, I am on the board and we have gone ahead and expanded that mission to we are no longer an emergency shelter, but we are for women in crisis and domestic crisis and their children, as well as maternity home to help that young lady who knows what she's facing as far as that part goes. She doesn't want to have that abortion, but the boyfriend has said, you get that abortion or else, and he kicks her out, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
You can imagine all of the different things
So
there.
the new owners are still operating it for the same purpose? Is doing the same thing or is it changed?
The new owners here in town are, that is no longer Northwoods Living Hope.
nail salon or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not doing what it was.
Nothing.
Okay,
nothing
I didn't realize
whatsoever.
that happened.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
no problem.
Okay, thank you.
What happened was that last year when they had the storm,
Yeah.
You know, they had roof
Yeah,
damage.
roof,
And then
yeah.
they were, then when things were ready to reopen, they were already talking with us because they knew that my heart's desire was to turn mom and dad's place. That would be Art and Hallie Fox's, for those of you that don't know. Turn their home into the maternity home. And so then we meshed those two missions together, you know, hoping that we would, in that process, be able to develop a mission in a home atmosphere rather
Right.
than an apartment building atmosphere, to really allow that mission to be with
Okay,
the different.
so now the facility is gonna be the one you're applying for.
Exactly.
That's where.
That's
you're gonna
right.
be-
Exactly.
okay,
And
all
we
right.
have not reopened.
Okay.
So this is one of those steps we needed to
Sure.
take, but we have not reopened yet. So.
Sure.
All right,
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions for Tamara?
I do. I'm just curious. So on your initial, it says up to 6 residents. What is the potential to be able to hold, I guess?
Right now, it's gonna stay at 6 because that's what the septic system.
Okay.
And that's plenty for getting started.
Oh,
because,
I'm
you know,
I'm
and getting
sure. I
started,
just-
you know, we don't wanna, you know, it's more important that this is here. You know, I'm 65 years old, and 25 years from now, when I'm in heaven, we hope that this is a mission that is continuing to help this community as far as that part goes, you know, and the Northwoods. And, you know, that's important too, that we might not have residents from Phillips or Park Falls or Prentice and Price County. You might have residents that come because they need that help and they're from the Northwoods. And that's part of our caring and reaching out as far as that part goes. You know, a lady who was escaping abuse, she might be coming from Rice Lake, who knows, because this is further away, you know what I mean? And she's in that safer place. So right now that is and it will be staffed 24/7. I had put that in the application, but that is the goal, that it will be staffed 24/7. That's very important.
Okay. Any other questions from the?
I have a question for Evan. Seeing this as a nonprofit, is there any other conditions that we have to worry about other than our normal?
And actually, this one, it's not, it doesn't have standard conditions because it's not a short-term rental. It's a
Okay.
property use. It's conditional use. It's not a short-term
Okay.
rental. So we don't have to worry about the property transfer issue where the conditional use permit goes
Sure.
away at time of transfer. That only applies to short-term rentals. So I don't see any conditions that.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve and a second. We'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I
Opposed? Same sign. Okay, motion, the conditional use permit is approved. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
The time is 9:13. We'll open the public hearing on the proposed amendment to the following county ordinance, chapter 520, shoreland zoning regarding changes required to come into conformance with NR 115 division requirements. And so this is, we all have the ordinance that is in its final form, and our purpose will be to. We have to have the public hearing first, okay. So is there anybody that in the room or online that wishes to speak to this hearing?
So on this one, all the towns receive registered mail notifying them of the change.
Okay, so there's I don't see anybody that wishes to speak during this public hearing. So at this time, we'll close the public hearing. Time is 9:14. And let's see, now you want to speak to what you heard from the townships or?
We didn't receive any.
Didn't receive
communication
anything.
on this one, no.
Okay,
And what we'd be looking at on this one is, for a recommendation, forward to full county board with a recommendation.
to approve, yeah, well.
Yeah, whatever the committee.
And
Okay,
this was to clean it up for the DNR wording. So
Yeah, so, yeah, once we get it on the floor, then I can kind of go into, and,
I read it.
So you need a motion to discuss.
I'll make,
Go ahead, Doug, I made the last one.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
There you go, now it's good.
Motion.
So Mayor, at the motion would be motion to forward to county board with the recommendation for approval. So approval, okay, yeah.
All right, motion by Doug, seconded by Michelle.
Now,
Now we can talk.
So yeah, it's just a cleanup language, come into conformance, and first I can talk through each of the two. The first one, the vegetative buffer zone, we have very similar language in what was in B, but there were some changes. The B sub A, is very similar, just
What
describes what
page?
it'd be 520-29 B. That one.
Number 6.
It would be.
Yeah, this is, all right. All right, I know I got it. 2 pages. Yeah.
Yeah, there's two shoreline. B sub A just describes what the vegetative buffer zone is. B sub B, the access and viewing corridor may be 35% of the shoreline frontage, but shall be no less than 10 feet or greater than 200 feet. So the 200 feet is a change that is in NR 115. So it would apply to anybody that owns a large chunk of frontage. Like if you had 1,000 feet of shoreline, you couldn't clear 350. You could only clear 200 feet per parcel. The 10 feet is slightly confusing. It says no less than 10 feet. The reason that is in there is if you had 100 feet of frontage, you couldn't clear 7 5-foot swaths as your viewing corridor. You could clear, 2 17.5s, but you couldn't clear a whole bunch of little 5-foot swaths. So that's the reasoning there. And C, that language is the exact same that was in there. The viewing corridor may run contiguously. So what I did is I just pulled out the portion of ours and added from the NR 115 model ordinance what was in that. So the language is
Price
consistent.
County has a little pamphlet. I'm sure you're quite familiar with it. Are you gonna revise that?
Probably not. No, because we got a grant to have 5,000 of those printed. So we have a whole bunch of them. So what I do when I hand those out, I just make the tweaks in a pen.
So you still have the supply. They're very handy.
We have a lot of them, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's a good pamphlet. It's clear.
Yeah, it does help. Unfortunately, there was a lot of rule changes shortly after we got the grant to have that pamphlet printed. So there's several things in there that are out of date, so I have to modify it when I hand it out. And then the second change. So there was a decision in NR 115. Historically, boathouse roofs could not be designed to be flat and used as decks. There was a change at the state level where somebody filed a claim and they said you can build a flat roof on a boathouse and use it as a deck. You cannot have a second story on a boathouse, but the roof can be flat and people can sit on it. I don't know how the likelihood of that. But anyway, so our ordinance was not consistent with the rules in NR 115 by having that language in there, so I just had that struck out. So those are the two shoreline changes.
Okay. You don't see many boathouses anymore. You see these.
But we see lots of boathouses, waterfront storage structures. Waterfront storage structures is what they're called, and there's lots of them. Go in. You're allowed one waterfront storage structure
So you
per
can still
lot.
build new ones?
Yeah, they can't be wet boathouses, dry boathouses, so they have to be from the ordinary high water mark landward. And there's lots and
I
lots.
see a lot of these boat lifts and canopies.
Yeah, so those are out beyond the ordinary high water mark. These structures are from the lakeshore landward, and you're allowed 1 300 square foot in size, and we permit lots and lots of them a year.
Right, butternut, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Well,
Some have flat roofs.
Some have, so. And some are over 300 square
Now they're
feet.
legal.
What's that? Now they're, yeah, a lot of those are old. Like, you're thinking of the Butternut Lake Lodge one up there, right?
Well, yeah.
That one's huge.
You got one.
Oh, yeah.
I see one on Bayfield County in Lake Namaquogan. It's a whole house built on the water. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, did we have a motion for that?
Yeah. I got the motions.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, we'll vote on the issue, on the proposal. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? There you go. How often do you have to do that?
What's that?
Do this revision every 10 years or?
Really, whenever there's major code changes.
Accumulates.
And the reason was we had to do the reason I got these in there, we had to do the floodplain ordinance, and sending out registers is expensive. So, and publication costs. So ordinance amendments are generally fairly expensive because of the registered mailings. And if you're gonna do one, you might as well do a bunch of cleanup when you do the other ones. So that's the reason that these are coming forward now.
Okay, now we gotta get into some other things. So we finished agenda item number 7, right? Okay, so open up another public hearing on the proposed amendment, and the time is 9:22 to the following county ordinance, chapter 525, subdivision of land regarding changes required to come into conformance with NR 15 revisions requirement. It sounds like the same thing.
Pretty close.
Michelle, did we vote on that motion?
Does anybody wish to speak during the public hearing? Okay, hearing none, we'll declare the public hearing closed. It's 9:23. And the decision on the proposed amendments to the following county ordinance, chapter 525, subdivision of land regarding changes required to come into conformance with NR 115 revision requirements.
So the motion would be to approve the change and
Forward to county board.
forward with recommendation to approve. That's the motion?
Is that your motion?
Okay, I make it.
I'll second.
Motion by Bob, seconded by Michelle. Now we'll open
So
up
this-
for discussion.
So this one is a similar thing when NR 115 changed. Minimum lot size went from 30,000 square feet with 150 feet of frontage down to 20,000 square feet with 100 feet of frontage. It changed, the change took place in our shoreline ordinance. It just hadn't changed in our subdivision control ordinance. So really this is just language cleanup as well. So we're just changing it to what it actually is versus what.
Okay, we have a
And
motion.
we don't really have any option on this. The NR 115 is the ceiling and the floor as far as regulations in the shoreline district go. So this is one we don't, it is what it is. We've got.
Okay. Any further discussion on the amendment? Okay, we do have a motion to approve and a second. We'll vote on it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. All right, the time is 9:24, and we will open the public hearing to repeal the current chapter 505 floodplain zoning ordinance and adopt the revised floodplain zoning ordinance to come into conformance with NR 116 revision requirements. Okay, the hearing is open. Do I hear anybody that wish to speak to it? Right, hearing none, we'll close the hearing. The time is 9:25. Agenda item number 11 is the decision on repealing the current chapter 505 floodplain zoning ordinance and adopt the revised floodplain zoning ordinance to come into conformance with NR 116 revision requirements. We'll hear a motion to approve.
Okay, I'll make a motion to forward it on to the board
Motion
for
to
approval.
approve, Michelle Grubnick.
I'll second it.
By Doug Erickson. Any discussion?
This is, what I brought forward is the model ordinance that's put out by the DNR. They notified us that our previous ordinance was not in compliance with FEMA standards and NR 116, so we've got the new model ordinance that we're looking to adopt. And it's a lot cleaner to adopt the old ordinance and pick through our ordinance and have the possibility of miss something and still being out of compliance. So they put together the model ordinance and this is what it is, that long packet. I'm sure everybody read through it.
I read through it and didn't understand the word.
Any further discussion? Okay, we do have a motion to approve and a second. We'll vote on it. Anybody, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Department.
So I passed out a copy, or gave everybody a copy of the permit report through June 2025. We've been fairly busy. The rain doesn't necessarily help. Septic's going in. Had quite a few soil tests. We don't really have nothing outstanding out there, I guess. But these pumping cards went out. Yeah, the first week's batches.
What cards?
Pumping cards.
Oh,
We're high over.
is it every 3 years?
Yeah, we send them out every year though in batches, but yeah. Yeah, people receive their pumping cards every 3 years. And we get a lot of phone calls during the time when pumping cards go out, so.
Do you send those to the property owners or to the pumping company?
Property owners.
Okay. All right, I'll anxiously await mine.
You haven't gotten one yet?
I called the pumper because I know I gotta have it pumped, but
So if you get it pumped, you don't actually get a card. Well, a card
it
is
hasn't
not
been pumped
generated.
yet. 2 to 4 weeks, he said, so
So when did you have it pumped last?
2022.
There's a possibility you might not get one in 25. It depends on when you had it pumped in 22, because the card isn't generated until you've been out of date for 3 years.
Oh,
Like if you had it pumped, because cards are generated like in that March, April timeframe. So if you had it pumped from in 22 after, like in June of 22.
yeah, it's sometime during the
You
summer.
probably
sure,
wouldn't
so
get
I
a card
won't
until
get the card.
26, because
So
it would have to be expired before a card is generated the following spring on the system.
I'm gonna get it pumped regardless, so.
So then you won't get a card.
We'd be on top.
That's okay. So you'll save the postage on our end. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
And a card.
And a card, yeah.
All right, is there any further reports? Evan?
No, I don't have any other.
So we will adjourn this portion of the meeting. And we'll move into land conservation. Roll call is the same. Is there any public comments? Anybody in the public wish to speak to land conservation issues? Online, *6 to unmute yourself. Are there any communications from the members of the committee? Okay, hearing none. Department reports.
We're just still busy with construction season. Jason's got several projects going. we finalized our snowmobile grant. I sent in the supplemental payment request yesterday for grooming and non-grooming expenditures for the 24-25 season.
Are you still trying to control wild parsnip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason has went out and treated several areas.
As an observation, it's on Highway 13 between Fifield and Park Falls. There's a church on top of the hill, right? It's about halfway in between.
Yeah, kind of by Cunninger Road, is that?
Yeah, there's a road there.
Right,
Just to
Cunninger Road,
the,
isn't
just
that-
to the south of that.
Across on the west side of the highway.
Very healthy, crop of, that's been there for years. Do you know about that one?
There's a few hotbeds up in that area. The worst spot in the county by far is out on County Road E. Out of Park Falls.
Yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, there's several areas. I'll let him know again about that. I'm pretty sure he's aware of that one.
yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, especially right now. You can see it very clear right now where it's at. Boyer Road, that's that's the road. I was trying to think of the road that went to the west there.
So was I.
Yeah. Otherwise,
That neighbor there should be concerned about that. That's a dangerous thing.
yeah, I haven't actually heard of anybody getting rash around here.
Photovoltaic, I think is what it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you need to get the sap or whatever on you and then be exposed to sunlight.
Yeah.
Pretty much intentional.
Yeah. Oh, if you go down south, pretty much when you get south of Taylor County, the ditches are south.
Just all over. Yeah.
So, otherwise, I think we've got land sale probably coming up at some point. We're gonna.
Yeah, so Evan and I work, well, there's a whole bunch of us that work on the land sale stuff, but Evan puts the book together through the zoning land conservation department. We went out for CMA, those should be, I don't remember the exact date. It's like next week. They have to have that returned for the RFP to do the CMAs, which is giving us the base price. Evan's putting the book together. We'll put the prices in the book. The auction should be shortly after that. I think we said October 1st. Sounds right. When the auction would start, the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 21 days.
How many properties do you have?
3
Quite a
that-
backlog, huh?
Yeah, well, we went to court with 3 on last Friday. So a lot of those cleaned up with the new ordinance. We had a lot of buybacks, which was good. I think we had 21 or 19 total properties, but we're selling them as 15 properties or lots because 5R is 4 or 5.
Yeah, there's a bunch down there. And
5Rs so we considered that one lot, and then there was one in Kennan that was a double lot, but it was like 2 slivers. So we put that together as a lot. So it went from 20 down to 15, I think was the total, or 21 down to 15.
Yeah, there's going to be quite a few. It's the biggest one we've had in a while.
Yeah, a lot of the ones that would have been generating a high income or a high bid, those were all purchased back by family or the original owner. But they go into the original owner's name. So like if my parents were losing their property under taxes and I went in and paid the taxes, it still goes back into the parent's name, my parents' name. It wouldn't go into the payer's name. They still have to go through the process to transfer a deed. So we saw the 80 acres up in Flambeau, which that one, the daughter, I believe it was, came in. Sister came and paid. The one out on Downriver Road, that one was a cabin on the river. That one got purchased, or it's not purchased, but caught up. Anyone on the list. So until the day of the auction, somebody could come. So like the previous owners of 5R could technically come pay the back taxes and get that back in their name.
A lot cleaner on our end than having to go through the auction process, and we get the same amount of money regardless if they pay the back taxes.
Correct.
or-
Our goal is to get the tax back. There, one of them we took this year is down in the Village Apprentice. We're pretty sure no one is in there, but we do we will check that if there's current resident.
All right, anything else on reports? Hearing none, we'll adjourn this portion of the meeting. And agenda item number 18, minutes from June 19th. Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Doug Erickson, seconded by Michelle.
Yep.
I saw the hand go up. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Now, the vouchers, I saw one. I signed off on.
Yeah, I gave it back to Meredith.
Yep.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve those.
I'll second.
motion by Michelle, seconded by Bob to approve the vouchers. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Vouchers are approved. Next meeting is August 21.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. You're gonna move that, please.
Is that the fair? David?
We can still have it.
Land use.
Then you're not gonna have a quorum.
So we will evaluate here the next, we'll know in the next week whether we're gonna need,
And Amber can't be here either.
They might not be on that next.
I'm just letting you
whether
know.
we're,
Their section might not be on there.
Well, you just got your orders, Mr. Chair. I see that.
so if we could set a September one as well, potential one.
So we got a recommendation here. That's right.
That way we could get a September meeting date set, in August. If we don't have any public hearings, theoretically, we could just skip
Well, what
that.
about August 28th?
That would be fine.
We try not to move them just because for public, this is always that Thursday. I think the better plan would be to just skip if we do.
Skip if we can, would be
Skip it.
my recommendation. We'll see, we'll know within a week here.
So do we have a September
So-
date?
So by this calendar, the 18th, September 18th.
Sounds great.
Yep, there it is. Okay, by the way, I was gonna be absent on the October meeting. That disappeared, so I can be attending for the October. I asked if maybe you could move it or something. So the next meeting then is scheduled for September 18th.
Unless they're here.
Unless we have a hearing in August, that August meeting, which, we'll know.
So
within
unless
the
you
next
had-
week. We'll know within the next week.
You'll know within a week?
Yeah, because roughly that'd be the timeline somebody would need to submit to get on that August meeting. So,
But are we gonna have it on the 21st or the 28th? If we have an August meeting?
I think the 21st.
I got lots that day
There's
too.
you heard what she was saying, there's a major conflict with the fair.
I,
In that, you wouldn't have a quorum, so you can't have a meeting anyway.
Why would we have?
I mean, we,
Because Alan should be
Well, I'm
there.
gonna go to the fair. I'm not gonna come to the meeting.
That's right.
On
nine
Thursday.
AM Thursday.
Things Bob can do out there to
That'd be
help.
the perfect day to have it. We're also having the canine luncheon that day, so you could come here to the meeting, go to that, then the fair.
Forum, I could make it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would think we can have.
So we could have it, but recruiting you, that's 1, 2,
3, 4.
For the zoning portion.
Five on the
oh, you only need 3. You could make it, huh?
Yes.
He might be busy.
If you have a meeting, I'll be there.
I'll make no promises.
So, where are we? Are we gonna wait for?
We have to wait a week.
It's on the schedule as August
Schedule for
21st.
I would recommend that you schedule it for August 21st, and if we can cancel, we will.
And then the
Say that
following,
again, closer to the mic. I can't
August
hear you.
21st would be the next scheduled meeting. September 18th would be the one after that, if the August one were to be canceled due to lack of public hearing.
Or even if the August one isn't canceled, we would still have one scheduled for September 18th.
So right, let's just everybody stay tuned.
You're in limbo.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Good job.
Shut up.
Okay, let's see, there's no adjournment. There is land conservation adjourned. We did some miscellaneous stuff. So now we're at, agenda item number 21. Call to order and roll call. Thank you, Amanda.
See you in
Great
September.
afternoon. That's right.
Do we have other people that showed up?
Yes. As noted above, also Rachel Hoffman is present.
Rachel is in the room.
You're alone now.
I know. It's all my friends.
You're good. Okay, any public comments on the UW extension portion of the agenda? Any public comments? Jenny? Go to the.
All right, I noticed on here, by the way, this was already on, so I didn't have to turn it on. Oh, Ginny Strobel, Town of Georgetown. I noticed, this MOU for UW Extension has a companion to contract and, termination. Pardon?
What did you just say?
Towards the bottom on 5, F on the bottom. VF on the MOU.
Okay, I've got the MOU.
Go to the end of it,
Page 5.
right? F on 5,
Page 5.
no. Miscellaneous provisions, V5.
That's on page 6?
Page
Page 6.
Page 6, so look.
Oh, item B5, okay, all right. Miscellaneous.
And it's F.
Key performance indicators?
B.
To contract.
I'm lost.
5. Page 6.
All right.
Okay, I think we're in the right place.
All right, we talked about the contract coming up again in December. But in this, if you agree to the MOU, without reading the contract again, it says that they simultaneously would terminate. And it runs contemporaneously with the contract. And the contract still has the affirmative action thing in it. I think that you should have time to read it on the end of the contract. That affirmative action is still in there. And during the performance of work under this contract, Extension agrees not to discriminate against any employee or applicant for employment because of race, creed, ancestry, religion, color, sex, national origin, age, disability, arrest or conviction records, marital status, political affiliations, sexual orientation, or membership in the National Guard. It was suggested before that the contract be changed to make sure that they're not, people aren't discriminated against because they aren't this. And it was pretty telling last time because the argument or the discussion led me to believe that some people hadn't read the contract at all. And it was, it was pretty hard to miss. So I think that before you agree to this MOU, you should have a chance to read the contract.
Thank you. Any communications from any member of the committee?
Mr. Chairman, I agree with Ginny. I think we should postpone this because the affirmative action thing is a real thing and it's being stonewalled in the administration committee. I keep trying to bring it up and work to bring it up, but he will not even honor it at all. So my constituents aren't being represented. I think we should postpone this or put it on the full board meeting so we can discuss the affirmative action and then maybe think about signing the memorandum of understanding with the W extension because it's a companion that goes directly along with it.
Yeah, okay. Did everybody understand what Jason was saying? Okay,
I make a motion to postpone it.
We're in public comment and communications.
yeah, right now you can't, a motion is not in order, Jason.
Well, that's the next item.
Let me know when you're ready.
It's the next item on the agenda. It's the next item on the agenda.
Well, yeah, the protocol would be to approve, a motion to approve and then have discussion and take motions within the approval of it. Okay, any other communications from members of the committee? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to item number 23, which is memorandum of understanding between UW Madison Division of Extension and Price County. So I would be looking for a motion to approve.
Well, I think this is really just more discussion now, and then if you want to approve afterwards, I think we could discuss it first.
Either in the middle or now. So, you know what Jason was saying?
I can give you some history and background on the MOU. So historically, there was a document, what was it, 2019 was the last updated, 16 before that, where it was a partnership agreement. Several counties through WCA got together and said, let's update that partnership agreement to reflect what is expected from the partnership of UW Extension and the counties. I sat on that group. It was a subcommittee of WCA. We met with UW Extension leadership. We met with county leadership. We came up with this memo of understanding to reflect what the partnership would look like and give guidance. Right now, 17 counties have participated, I believe, in signing it. This is something that came out during the contract-ish time last year. We were in transition, so we didn't see it come forward through art and just the transition. And I'll address the companionship right now. What they're saying is every year when the contract comes out, this will be a document that'll go with it so that we can update it. And that would be why it's terminated each year in the companionship, is that if there's an issue happening, we get together as a committee with the leadership and say, this is how the partnership needs to move forward. Let's sign an updated MOU. So this year, the intent is when the contract does come out, a new updated MOU, which will actually look exactly the same because there's been no changes, would also companion or partner with that MOU. As far as the contract, I was in a meeting Monday. When was it? Tuesday with Jason, which would be one step above Amber. Couldn't think of her name. I'm looking right at her. And then, so leadership again of UW Extension. Right now, their contract is in hands of legal. It has been updated, so they are following all federal and state guidelines when it comes to language. So you'll see an updated section about what has been brought up several times, and it just says we follow all state and federal laws rather than naming out specific areas.
So when would we see that?
They don't know yet. It's still within legal, and they have a huge backlog right now because of the GOAT committee. Their whole legal team is preparing all the documents.
What's the Russians understanding?
It's one of those, we should have done it or we could have looked at it a year ago, as part of this partnership. It was trying to get the word out to partner with, again, I believe as a small county, we work really well with Amber. Everything that's in here is what we're doing. It just reinforces it. Right now, we're okay, but Amber leaves, you get a new area extension person, and now it's not the same expectation. We're not maybe have the same partnership relationship. So again, this is a guidance document. This is just helping us remind you as a board that this is happening. There's a lot of good stuff in here that we've seen. Grant County, is it Dodge or Grant County is the pilot program for the.
So what happens if we don't sign it? Everything stops?
No, we keep going with the partnership. They're gonna use it as the document of guidance. It's just one of those we both agree on, but it guides you. So one of the big area we updated in here was how we look at the scope of work. Again, we're a smaller county. We don't have additional educators. But Grant County's doing theirs right now. I think it was Dodge County that really they started at UW Extension through this process, created a work group that created a new process on finding your community needs and to create that work document. So it's one of those things we've always struggled with here is we have an educator, they've been here for a while.
All right, Nick, that's enough. Hold on a second. All you got to do is eliminate a permanent act out of the contract and you can sign it and you'll be good.
So anyways, moving forward, when we have a person here for a long time, what we were struggling with was updating to the newest, what the community needs are. So through this document, it does talk about how we go through a process. It doesn't have to happen every year, but it's a scheduled process to look at how the needs of the community have changed, really is the big part of it. So that's where this document came from. We worked on it for a long time. We'll continue to work on it. One thing we are scheduling or working on with Craig Thompson being the new communications dean, whatever his full title is, we are going to get a group of UW Extension, a group of counties together and kind of do a informative symposium or something where it rekindles that partnership and how to get to those needs, how to cover those needs, how can you partner with surrounding counties. It's just reestablishing what UW's partnership was and is and can be going forward.
Just a question so I understand how these two fit together. We have an overlaying contract.
Correct.
We signed last year.
And that's for the work.
And I think that's where Jason has the issue.
Correct.
When does that contract expire?
That's my question.
December 31st, but we'll get the new contract.
Okay,
Usually we get it.
so this contract goes till the end of this year.
Correct. And that's for the fees for 4-H.
This MOU, which doesn't have any of the stuff that we're concerned about in it, would run concurrent with that contract.
Till December
So-
31st.
So if we approve this, it just runs to the same deadline. So the real issue is with the contract.
Yep.
So if we're gonna get into this discussion on the language, that should be the contract discussion.
Correct.
Nothing to do with this MOU.
Correct. And
Am I?
correct. This MOU has none of that language in it. The contract, when we signed it, that was the rules. That's what we signed. Going forward, like I said, I was told that there has been an update to that language that there's a concern of. I do not know what that looks
The
like.
language that Jason's referring to, so there's something changing with that language, which we'll need to look at whenever that comes available.
So this MOU was only good till the end of December anyway.
Yeah, and
Concurrent with
then
the contract.
you re-sign it with the contract, yeah. The affirmative action language has been updated to follow all federal and state guidelines, is my understanding. We just haven't seen it yet.
So then, just to clarify, this MOU simply states what the job roles and responsibilities are of the county, UW Extension, who's responsible for what, so that if there ever were a concern, like there aren't concerns right now, but it wouldn't be a finger pointing, you'd be able to refer back to the document and say, no, that county, this is something that you're responsible for, or if it's extension and falls under that role and responsibilities, then we'd look to UWEX to ensure that that was taking place.
And it's one where, again, we've had some great relationships with our local UW Extension. Some counties are struggling where when there's a recruitment, what's the role of the county? What's the role of the UW Extension? We've been very lucky in the role that they've included us in, not that they had to or how it was. This gives us that guidance saying you will have somebody from the county there. This is their role during that recruitment. That needs assessment's a big one, I think, is where a lot of counties were struggling. I shouldn't say a lot. There were counties struggling.
All right, we've had a discussion before the motion. So now I'll ask for a motion. Motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve the MOU.
Motion by Bob Kopich to approve. Do I hear a second?
I'd second that.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. She is a qualified voter.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's a member of the committee.
Yeah. Member of the committee. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, let's take a roll call.
Roll call vote, Alan Barkstrom,
Yes.
Michelle Drobnik,
Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Doug Erickson,
Yes.
Jason Hastings,
No. Not until I see the affirmative action language.
Robert Kopich,
Yes.
Larry Mivas.
No.
And Rachel Hoffman,
Yes.
and the vote carries.
This is extension.
Oh, I'm
Larry's
sorry.
land
Okay.
conservation.
Land conservation. Okay.
Thanks, Larry.
So the roll call vote carries 5 yes, 1 no.
Okay. We'll move on to,
Just a sideline before we go on. When do you expect to be working on the contract where we'll be talking about it?
Usually we have the new contract around this time and we start to bring it forward. I would anticipate we can have the September meeting,
Okay.
I would hope, or October.
Okay.
So, I mean, as soon as we get it from UW, we will definitely have it on the agenda.
The goal was always to have it for the budget time. We got the budget number. We just don't have the contract this year. So again, like I said, it was, from my understanding, is legal's been backed up due to the GOAT committee request. So
And you usually can't sign the contract until the budget is approved because it directly links, right? If it would end up on the county board floor that you didn't pass the budget with extension in it and you already signed the contract, it could hold you
yeah,
liable to that. So we don't usually sign it until, November or December.
I was gonna
Right.
say that I would look on the last several contracts. I think it's like December 15th.
Yeah,
15th.
which is probably one of the very last ones in the state, but it's why, right? I mean, it really is connected to that budget. So as soon as we get the new
November.
language so that it can be a point of discussion around the affirmative action statement, I will make sure you have that, or Nick has that, or Meredith, whoever needs it.
Somebody.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a comment?
Mhm.
My observation is when we renegotiate this contract, why do we need an MOU then? Why shouldn't it all be in one document in the contract?
So that was
One contract.
right. So that was a lot of discussion point, and the problem is a lot of the MOU stuff isn't contractual. It's more of a procedural. So the partnership agreement was always a separate document, and it's really cleaning up that partnership agreement. The old one was very wordy, is the way to put it, where it talked about the history and who they are and what it wasn't a
Okay,
job description.
I'm satisfied with that answer. I just wanted, for simplicity's sake,
Yeah.
make it as simple as possible.
Shouldn't have to.
That
be
makes sense.
hard.
And technically, the contract, there are areas that change for every county when it comes to certain areas. So like we're only 4-H, so we don't have some of the need for language when it's like if you have a egg agent or the other stuff. So they kept that separate also.
Thank you.
All right. Agenda item number 24, reality day fair update.
Yes, so we have been working on it, Rachel and I, and so we have a tentative date. Rachel met with some of her staff, and school scheduling is really tough. And so, we talked about several different times in the year, when is it best, when is it not? But we have set the date for this fall, November 13th. So kind of after some of the first fall testing and the start of the school year and getting back to, and then trying to do it before the holidays and that crazy rush kind of time. So that date has been set, and we will, when the teachers return in August, we do, as we mentioned earlier, in building this out, we wanted to connect it to the curriculum. And so Mike Egebret will be teaching that required business course. And so we'll be working closely with him as we build out that day and as we pull together volunteers and the community around that education. We're looking at juniors and seniors. And for 2025, we really decided that we're gonna focus on Phillips for this year. So we get a good foundation in before we invite other schools in, and we don't even have our ducks in a row. So, we can maybe, once we do the one in November, we can definitely, I am willing, this is what I can work with Phillips. This is what they've requested. And so I can work with the other two schools and possibly do them in those locations. If I can, once we have the curriculum here.
Talking about future years then, or?
We are. Our plan is eventually to do one countywide reality fair. For 25, we're just gonna do in Phillips. And if it goes well and we have a good template, I am willing to work with Shawamigan and Prentice to possibly hold individual days there if they're interested. I'll be fully transparent. I'm going to do the best I can, and I have limited time and resources and staffing here in Price County. So I do believe it's important the whole county is included, and I have to work with our partner here who's hosting the event to honor their wishes in terms of, having an event before we know how it works.
So Rachel
even
in favor.
here.
Yeah, I am in favor, and I would be happy to open it to other school districts in the future. We chose 2 grade levels this year, juniors and seniors. It'll be approximately 90 to 100 students. In the future, we'd probably target just 1 grade level, but because our seniors haven't had a chance to have this opportunity, or our juniors, neither one of those 2 grade levels have personal finance as a required course. The students who came in last year as freshmen have to take personal finance to graduate from high school. So this is kind of the catch-up year. We want to make sure that those juniors and seniors do have that opportunity to be exposed to some of the personal finance things that they need to know, to make sure we're setting them off on the right foot.
Very good.
Mr. Chair, it should be noted, Jason left the meeting at 10:02. So you're down one committee member, just so you're aware.
Yeah, so we have every intention of opening up in the future. However, for this year, we just want to make sure that it goes well. We can work out any of the kinks. And we're anticipating like a half day type programming, 1 hour to 2 hours, with the different groups of kids. We have to figure out what those rotations would look like, so.
Okay. Anything else, Amber?
Unless you all have suggestions, questions, we'll continue to work on it and continue to share those updates, and hopefully mark your calendars. We would love for all of you to be involved in some way.
They're not signing up.
There, no, I didn't see anybody marking. Well, we will follow up, and we'll find a great role if you're interested.
I have experience, so you can.
You're in. Okay, first volunteer done.
I sell cars.
I love it. Perfect.
Okay, area extension director updates.
Yeah, so It is a busy summer programming, and we've had a lot of discussion about how often our educators come in and report. And so we did kind of lean on probably quarterly, you'll see them, and they'll give you full reports on their contacts and programming, but it is a busy time. Julie and the summer interns have been doing library programs, day camps all across the county. So they were at Timms Hill last weekend. It is the Taylor County Fair this week, so their time and attention is focused there. And then next week, they have an older youth. We've been really working hard to bring back a youth leader group here, and haven't had a lot of traction since COVID, really. But we are partnering with Lincoln, and on Tuesday, they're headed to Minocqua for a full day of adventure. So not too far, but I think sometimes not all young people in our community get those same opportunities to even see somewhere close. So lumberjack show and a bunch of other things that the young people have decided on. So just a lot going on. And then of course, we're gearing up for the Price County Fair as well. And so although Julie's role is smaller in that because of being part-time, she definitely is involved in supporting the volunteers and the Fair Association and making that happen. So those are kind of programmatic. When we met last time, we talked about the FoodWise program, and it was the House had already cut SNAP Ed out of its budget. In the reconciliation bill that the president signed on July 4th, it did cut that SNAP Ed funding completely. And so yesterday, our FoodWise educators received their layoff notices. And so Wendy Redney, who's served here and been a FoodWise educator for 25 years, will be ending that term of service in December, will be her last day. So that includes the nutrition education in the schools. It includes some of the strong bodies. She's been leading some new strong bodies up in Park Falls and some Tai Chi with some aging populations, doing some programming this summer with gardening, youth gardening up in Park Falls. So there will be a loss of programming that we see, but that was a fully federal funded program. And so that's where we're at.
Clarify, because a lot of people probably heard general news. It was October 1st is the last day of funding, because Wendy was a longer term employee.
Right.
The way the contracts, the way it all works is,
right,
if you were here 5 years, it's 30 days or less. If you've been here 10 years, it's 60 days or less notice. Wendy had been here plus 25, so that's why her date is a lot later than what you see probably in the media. At the meeting I was at where we discussed this, knowing it was coming, some of the issues that haven't been resolved or that they're working through is there's a lot of assets through that program. So if due to the nature of what she teaches, there's blenders and crock pots and just materials that are owned through that SNAP Ed program. So the disbursement of that, we don't know what that's going to look like. There is some reservation.
We had a lot of
supplies,
participation in that program from our citizens.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So that this is going to negatively impact them. Do we want to have other discussions in Health and Human Services to continue that, or
not explicitly? I think across the state, there's a lot of discussion on, is the state going to pick up some type of programming? Is our local counties, I'm on a lot of listservs where it's, are we talking about this? Are we not talking about this? What, how many board members are coming forward to discuss this? So it's kind of in that limbo. But going back to the assets, the meeting I was at, there's a concern that if they start disposing or getting rid of these assets, what happens if the next administration goes, oh, we screwed up, or we think that this program needs to come back at 20%, 30%, whatever funding. Now you got rid of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment throughout the US that it would be, so they're not sure what they're doing.
so this is not going to have any impact at all on the county budget, because that was 100%
Correct.
funded. Right?
The space is what we gave that program. I know the schools have been talking about, because there's a lot of education in the schools, that's been part of our discussion too, is are schools backfilling something, are they not? There's, again, that's up, you can talk about that at the school level, but it is what, I can't remember what Jason called it yesterday. Every day changes, but it's a flow of, you never know what information is gonna come out with this program, but they have to keep moving. That's why the letters went out, they're working through it right now at the UW Extension state level.
What's bad news?
I mean, so I will continue. I mean, I would assume you will receive some official notification from me or from Extension this week yet even. Just kind of reiterating what I've shared here and putting it in writing for you. I think Alan is right. It does, I mean, it's been an impactful program around nutrition, exercise, helping people make better food choices. Right, I mean, a large number of both youth audience that are reached each year, but also some of our aging population through the senior centers. So, I mean, it's a loss, and we will do what we can to think about how we can partner with others in the community to possibly. So I would hate to see the disbursement of all of that educational materials when hopefully we can continue to do something. Obviously with a 0.54H, I don't have a whole lot of bandwidth, but I still am hopeful that there's something we can do, and maybe some way we can partner across counties.
What kind of participation did we have? Just off do we know?
I mean, it's hard for me when so she was a 0.5, so she's also a 0.5 FTE. And I mean, I would say educational contacts in a month, which is like, it could be the same students, because when she would go into third grade, she would go in and do 4 lessons, right? 4 different times, a series of lessons. So if you counted those, so I mean, I would say like probably, and this is just off my head, probably running other counties together. So I can get you that, Alan. But anywhere between 500 and 800 educational contacts in a month.
And going like the equipment, like you said, it's like, is there another use for it? The problem is it was bought with federal grant funding.
It's with federal money.
So
they'll have their own, they may dictate how and where that material could go to a huge storehouse.
When you talk about classroom, you're talking about going into the schools, right?
Yep, she would go into the schools, and right, they have some state standards around nutrition. And so oftentimes meeting that, so the teachers, wouldn't have to cover that as part of their curriculum.
So what's your opinion, Rachel? Did you welcome that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So when
Welcome that in the school.
we loved having her come in because the kids see the teachers all day, every day, right? So they have their elementary teacher that they see. When Wendy would come in and do those lessons, it's the food lady coming in. Anytime you have a new face that comes into kids who they haven't seen before, they remember them. They might not remember the name, but if she walked in the building again, they'd be like, hey, you're the one who brought that dragon fruit for me to try. And they'll talk about it for months afterwards. So I was just thinking, like when you talked about contacts, I'd say probably at least 150 to 200 kids were impacted in our building.
From a committee standpoint, I don't think that we should let the service slide away from us somehow. I hopefully you can regenerate and offer something else. I don't know, that's my opinion. Anybody else?
Yeah, Alan, I agree with you. I guess on a broader scope, when you look at what's going on, there's a defederalization of a bunch of stuff. That's what's happening. And just like with education, they're pushing it back to the states. And, I would hope that from a state level, being the great state of Wisconsin, that our state would step up and maybe assume a bigger role here. But that's what's happening. I mean, personally, the more stuff we take out of Washington, the better, because it's a snake pit. You watch what's going on in Washington and you just shake your head. You just can't believe it. And the way money gets spent, half the stuff, they don't know where it's going. So I can understand the effort, but then we as a state, I think, need to step up. We're having the same thing happen with SEP. Our
Yeah.
funding keeps getting cut. They're worthwhile programs. We're getting people educations, we're getting people jobs, and now the funding's getting cut.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do? So, I think having it locally is better, in my opinion. So overall, in a broad scope, I think, okay, this is just something we got to deal with, but let's step up and do something. And again, we got to get to our state legislatures. I haven't seen much going on with that. They have these hearing sessions and people go and talk, and everybody's got the same problem.
This is the first
They're
time I've
losing
heard of
memory.
this.
Yeah, well, this is just one of many things that are happening. But the state's gonna have to step up, and I think that's what we need to focus on. And hopefully we can get through this and
That's a
come
good
out
message.
better after all's over.
Good message, Bob.
Thank you.
WCA, my understanding is they have not taken a position on this, but what you said is what has been requested by a few counties is to, hey, state, this program's in many areas is really great. There was a surplus, which we've used this surplus 15 times, I think, in everything we do, but state, like I said, is this a state thing that goes through the UW? And so state, you gotta fund UW at a different level. It's not a priority point by WCA yet because it's so fresh, but I do know that there are several counties looking at resolutions or guidance to WCA to legislate or lobby for something.
So maybe that's something this committee should be putting together.
They could,
Or maybe it's gonna come out of your office, but.
yeah,
a
I
resolution.
just saw my listserv. Somebody just sent that out, what counties are doing something and what does it look like, so I can update you in the future. I think it would come through this.
Yeah, resolution would be in order coming from this committee.
I'll see what the state in general is thinking, but I'll work with Amber. I mean, I'm assuming she'll be in that.
You
talking
heard
point.
that our school system welcomes that resource.
Yeah, and if I don't know if the school's doing resolutions that tell the state to do something, or I don't know what.
We're focusing on federal right now. The state budget has been passed, and so we have a little impact there. But federal budgets are where we're doing more of our focus right now.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
That's what I have, unless you have any questions or.
Questions for Amber? No, okay, financial reports and vouchers.
I'm so sorry. I know I ask this like every time. Am I supposed to get them to you or just somebody provide? I mean, in some counties I have to do it, but you get them from or Carrie, somebody, Julie in another county. I don't know. Okay. I just want to make sure. It's like, am I supposed to be providing those?
Yeah, what have you been doing?
No, I'm so sorry.
You don't have it, of course.
All right.
I get a copy. I just didn't know if I was supposed to be making you all a copy and doing what you needed. So that's all. I was just double checking. I feel like, honestly, by now I should know better and I apologize. It's just 7 counties do it 7 different ways.
Priority.
Yeah, I know. You are, and you're probably more gentle with me, which is why I may be a little lax, which means that in some places the grace is not always extended and so then I do better. So if you want something different, just be mean and I will respond better.
Okay.
So the vouchers that were presented earlier basically are folded in with UW vouchers, so it doesn't need to be on the agenda twice probably.
Yeah.
So we don't have a separate group of vouchers for extension? No?
It's all
I
within
think
the
it's-
same packet.
I think the reason it's on there is because, well, you do participate in the miscellaneous. I don't remember when,
I can.
not you.
Oh, Rachel?
Yeah, I don't know when Rachel's official sitting happens on the committee, so I wonder if, so I wonder if the vouchers are on there to give Rachel an opportunity, just like the rest of the committee, to question or if there's concerns. So I that's why I think it's on there twice.
Major concerns.
I would just say roll them all up because I typically see the extension.
There's enough
stuff
signatures,
afterwards,
right?
right?
There's enough signatures in the miscellaneous that we wouldn't
Well,
need it.
It's a good time for questions for her,
Yeah,
but they've
if you
already
had
been
questions.
approved previously.
Not that we wouldn't answer if you called us up and said, hey, I have a question on this, but.
All right, if there's nothing else, I'll declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.